Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. We're going to take a look today at a recently updated add-in from Flightsim.to. It's the absolutely wonderful Cessna T-37 tweet. It's been out for several years, just recently updated by the developer. Good to see this getting some update action. It's a great aircraft and got a lot of street cred, earlier in its life. This person's opinion is it might be at least in the top 5 of best freeware aircraft ever. It's a lot of fun, but you better pay attention to getting it started up correctly, or you'll start an engine fire. So, at any rate, let's jump over onto the tarmac at Seymour Johnson. All right, here we are. Good old Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina. The attention to detail on this is very, very good. So there are lots of different choices and options you can turn on and off. The manual is very, very well done, and you need to read it. All right, so let's jump in the plane. All right, so what would you want to know about the tweet? Well, first of all, it served for a little over 50 years, I think, as the primary trainer in the Air Force, before being replaced by the, the Beechcraft T6 Texan II. So there were some armed variants too, the A-37 Dragonfly, which is also, interestingly enough, available as a freeware download over on Flightsim.to. And if memory serves me correctly, it's also the same developer. Anyway, this one's very, very well done. I've flown this quite a bit on group flights. So anyway, manufactured between 1955 and 75. First flight, I think, in October of 1954. Officially retired by the Air Force in 2009. So interesting little bird for sure. All right, so let's take a look at the cockpit here. A couple of things just to note. One, rookie mistake that you'll want to avoid is make sure you take the flight stick lock off. That is always helpful. Things are really laid out nicely. Not a lot of surprises here in terms of where things are. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. I'm going to got some lights on and the battery, and we'll cut the inverter on. All right, we do have fuel already in the aircraft, so that's good to go. I'm going to leave the canopy open until we get it started up. All right, so make sure you take a look at the manual. If you don't do this in the right order, again, you will start an engine fire. And it's really very similar in terms of having some discipline, just like starting up the PBY. So we did a video of that earlier. It's really about the timing of the startup sequence here. That's the magic. All right, so we're going to start the left engine first. And what we are going to do is we're going to concentrate on looking at our RPM gauge here, and we'll be monitoring our fuel flow. Let's go ahead and get going here. I think we've got everything on. We've got our fuel pump needs to come on though. All right, so let me just do a quick check here. All right, no need to cut the pitot heat on. We'll do that at the end of the runway. All right, so here we go. We're gonna Let this run to about 10, right at 8% on the RPM. And then we are going to take the ignition switch to on, and I'm going to hold it. And it does look like the engine temperature is coming up. All right, we've got a good start here. Go ahead and cut the generator on the left engine. All right, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and do the same with the right. And we'll follow the same sequence. And we'll hold this on. Sounds like we're well on our way to a successful engine start 2 with engine number 2. And it is noisy in the cockpit with the canopy open, so just doing this to give you an idea how loud it is in the sim. Alright, generator number 2 now is on. We'll put those guards up. Inverter is on. We're good to go. All right, let's take care of the canopy here. Oh, there we go. Now we can hear ourselves think. And I do have ATC turned on here in the sim, so we'll deal with that in a sec. Get my controller software loaded here just to make sure that we don't have any issues. All right, let's jump outside. And we can take the parking brake off. Make sure we have our other hardware configuration in place here and good to go. Slow and steady is the way of the day for taxi. And we'll make our way over here over to the active runway. Alright, we will assume we have clearance here from the tower. And we'll go ahead and cross over the line here onto the active. I'm just doing a final check of my hardware controllers here just to make sure that we've got everything good to go. Get ourselves lined up here. Alright, put the parking brake on here for a sec. Back in the aircraft. Good point of view established for ourselves here. All right, no surprises here in terms of takeoff. It's very straightforward. So, all right, well, looks like we're clear for takeoff. So we'll run it up. Does take the jet engines a minute to get spun up. At any rate, this is about as straightforward as it gets. All right, we're coming up. You're coming up. Peek over here over the nose. And we'll do a climb out here. And then we'll come back on the engine RPM here after we get a little bit more altitude. Jump outside the plane. Take a look at this. External modeling, very, very well done. Sounds are very well done as well. So there is a payware version of the tweak. In all fairness to this freeware donation we're offering on Flightsim.to, this is absolutely exceptional. And there are quite a few YouTubers who have taken a look at this and included that in their favorites list. I'm hitting it again because of the update. Alright, we'll swing ourselves around here. Quick cycle around Goldsboro. So Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, quite active. Way back in the day, there was a B-52 wing here, F-4 Phantoms, KC-135 tankers. I was lucky enough to spend a couple of summers, a few weeks during the summer here at Seymour Johnson. Had the opportunity to go on some refueling missions. Great fun. We're going to come back on the engine here. So one of the things you need to be aware of is there is a engine RPM warning that's now going off inside the cockpit. It's based on engine RPM. And we'll gripe at you and tell you either speed the engines up or drop gear. Anyway, the instruments are laid out very nicely in the aircraft. They're easy to monitor and scan. Again, running a checklist is a great thing. I still had the situation indicator caged, but that's okay. Mistakes will be made. Again, we're just letting the aircraft here be the star of the show. The attention to detail of the riveting on the wings, very, very well done. A little bit of wear and tear and dust inside the cockpit. I think it's a good healthy balance. It probably could use a little bit more texturing, but again, that is the nittest of nitpicks. I guess we could change our communication channel to get rid of that. Jump back outside the plane here. Have a look-see. Several different liveries are available. And they are included with the aircraft. I don't know that I have downloaded any additionals. I really like this white variant. It's very, very cool. We can start getting ourselves slowed down. Is speed brake available here in the aircraft to bleed off some of this airspeed? Get ourselves down into a better landing configuration here. Let me jump back inside. And there's our warning klaxon with the airspeed and the gear. And we're close enough. We'll go ahead and just drop the gear. We're fine. Real world, I'd be waiting until later, but for this, it's all good. Alright, I can see Seymour Johnson off in the distance. Get ourselves some more airspeed here. Let's see, camera angles, haven't done those yet. So here's control 2, control 3, control 4, control 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's an interesting point of view. 9, back inside. There's really no reason to do customs, I don't think, here. Love the texturing inside the cockpit. Alright, we'll make our way back around. I guess I'm going to pull the gear back up and get some more speed, finish this approach so that it doesn't take us long. No need to dilly-dally. There are options for being able to turn on the pilot and the co-pilot. There's also a built-in, I'll call it a DOS-based tablet that's over to pilot left. We do a deep dive on this, we'll come back and revisit that. But there are some configuration choices you have with the aircraft that are available from that device. Our way around here. And we'll drop gear. We'll go ahead and get our setting a flap in. Make our way back home. Well, let me know in the comments below whether or not you're interested in cold and dark, and we can go through the tablet configuration and have a little bit of fun with that. Play around with some settings here. All right. full flap here. We have 15 and 40 degrees of flap. And you do have speed brake. Should you need to tweak that on final. And I have that bound on my throttle quadrant. Alright, so we're making our way in here to Seymour Johnson. I remember landing here in the KC-135. It was a lot of fun. Got to go up the east coast of the U.S. and do some refueling missions. That was an honor and a privilege and a life experience that I can't even describe. Being in the back of the aircraft with the refueling officer, and he patiently dealt with all of the questions that we had. But anyway, remarkable flying up over the top of Norfolk Naval Air Station and seeing the carriers in port, and having the opportunity to refuel some interesting aircraft too. All right, here we go. Get ourselves slowed down here. Very, very slowly here, getting ourselves settled back down. All right, we can taxi in now. Make our way over. All right, there you have it. T-37B tweet available for free over on Flightsim.to. I'll put a link to the download description in the description of the video so that you will have easy access to be able to download. Again, piece of advice is read the manual. Have some fun with it. Support the developer's work with a donation if you feel so led. Again, this is very, very good. I would definitely put this in my top 5. Sounds good, flies good. Flight modeling seems to be rock solid here. If you're complaining about this one, then you're having way too much fun enjoying complaining. At any rate, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to get stopped. Park the bird right here. My parking brake on. All right. Give us a like and a subscribe. Turn that notification bell on. More videos to follow. Thanks for being with us. Hope everybody's keeping well. Cheers, y'all.